All right, today I want to share a story with you. It's a story that I think a lot of you are going to find, well, pretty familiar. It's all about a dream, a struggle, and that one brilliant breakthrough that just changes everything. This is Precision Brewing, a growth story.
So once upon a time in a bustling city, you can just picture it, right? A place that's just humming with ambition, endless possibilities. It's a place we all kind of know, full of noise and competition, and of course, big dreams.
And right there in that city lived an entrepreneur named Alex. Now, Alex wasn't just trying to sell a product. No, Alex was sharing a passion, a carefully crafted experience in every single bag of artisanal coffee. The dream? To connect with coffee lovers all over the globe through a brand new online store.
But, as so many of us dreamers find out, having a great idea is really just the first step. Getting found? Well, that's something else entirely. We're now entering the first chapter of this journey, a dream, a digital desert. It's that classic founder's struggle against being invisible.
I mean, the website was perfect. The photos were absolutely stunning. But the virtual storefront? A total ghost town. The sound of silence online can be just deafening. For Alex, this huge connected world suddenly felt incredibly lonely.
And this became the question that just echoed every single night. You know that feeling? That frustrating, gut-wrenching question that so many entrepreneurs ask themselves when they've poured their heart and soul into something, only to be met with, well, crickets.
And what I love about this is how it just visualizes that feeling. You don't even need numbers. You can just feel it, can't you? Over here, you've got the competitors, thriving, just bustling with activity. And then there's Alex's store, a tiny, tiny blip in a massive marketplace. And this wasn't just about numbers on a screen. Oh no, the pressure was personal. The bills started stacking up. That initial spark of confidence began to flicker. And doubt is such a heavy weight, especially when you're working endless hours and literally watching your personal savings just disappear.
But here's the thing. This isn't a story about giving up. Every great story has a turning point, right? And this is Alex's. It's that moment of realizing that passion alone just isn't enough. It was time for a new chapter, the search for a guide.
That old advice to just be patient, well, it wasn't cutting it anymore. Something fundamental had to shift. It wasn't about working harder. It was about working smarter. It was time to find a completely new path forward.
And that new path led to a huge discovery, the PPC expert. Now think of this person as more than just a marketer. They're like a digital map maker. They specialize in placing ads exactly where potential customers are already looking, basically guiding a lost business right out of the desert and straight to its people.
And just like that, with a guide, the whole journey changed. It wasn't about wandering around aimlessly anymore. It was about creating a precise map to the destination. And that destination, success.
So here it is, the consultant's map. And it's not super complicated, it's just really smart. You start by finding the magic words, the exact phrases people are typing when they want great coffee. Then, crafting the perfect sign, an ad that pops up at that perfect moment. Next, reaching the coffee lovers, which is all about focusing the budget only on people who are really interested. And finally, and this is the most critical step, learning and improving, using data from every single click to make the next ad even better.
See, the whole idea behind this map was precision. This wasn't about just shouting into the void anymore. It was about surgically targeting customers who were already looking for what Alex had. It meant starting with a smart, small budget just to test things out, and most importantly, it meant eliminating all the guesswork. Every single decision was now backed by data.
So, what happens when you trade guesswork for a precise map? Well, you don't just find a tiny trickle of water in the desert, you find the entire river. The floodgates began to open.
And it didn't take years, it took weeks. That agonizing digital silence was suddenly shattered by the most beautiful sound in the world. Notifications, new orders, new customers. The website was finally actually alive.
I mean, this slide really says it all, doesn't it? The business went from being this single, lonely coffee bean, full of potential but just lost, to a thriving, vibrant coffee plant, just overflowing and producing. That right there is the visual definition of growth.
And it wasn't just about getting busy, it was about getting profitable. That ad spend, which used to feel like just throwing money into a black hole, was now a powerful engine. That small slice of wasted effort kept getting smaller and smaller, while predictable profit became this huge dominant force.
And Alex's dream of sharing coffee with the world, well, it came true. The store wasn't just a local project anymore. It was shipping orders to Europe, to Asia, to coffee lovers on continents Alex had only ever dreamed of reaching.
So what's the big takeaway from Alex's journey? Because beyond the coffee and the clicks, there's a really powerful universal lesson here for anyone who's trying to build something from scratch.
Here it is. The lesson is that it's not about being the loudest or having the biggest budget. It's about finding the right tools to cut through all the noise with a smart strategy. That right there is the real key to unlocking sustainable growth. Which of course brings us to you. Alex's guide was a PPC expert, but every big idea, every project, every dream has some kind of key that can unlock its full potential. So it makes you wonder, what's the secret tool your big idea is waiting for? You would genuinely love to hear your thoughts on that down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this story, if it was helpful or just inspiring, please make sure you subscribe. We've got a lot more explainers just like this one coming your way. Thanks for tuning in.